What if I told you that 2,000 years ago, a Roman emperor discovered the ultimate cheat code for winning every argument, dissolving every conflict, and turning your worst enemies into allies, without ever raising your voice or throwing a single punch? Marcus Aurelius wasn't just ruling an empire. He was mastering something far more powerful: the art of invisible victory. While his generals conquered lands with swords and shields, he conquered hearts and minds with something the ancient Greeks called practical wisdom. Today, you're drowning in a world where everyone's angry, everyone's fighting, and everyone thinks they're right. Your boss challenges you in meetings. Your family argues over dinner. Social media feels like a battlefield. But what if there was a way to walk through all this chaos like a master chess player? Always 3 moves ahead, always in control. The Stoics weren't passive philosophers sitting in towers. They were warriors, emperors, and advisors who faced real enemies, real betrayals, and real life-or-death situations. They developed these techniques not in classrooms, but in the arena of human conflict. I'm about to share 7 ancient methods that will completely transform how you handle every difficult person and impossible situation in your life. These aren't feel-good theories. They're battle-tested strategies that have worked for over 2 millennia. Method 1. The mirror technique. See your enemy's true face. The first secret sounds almost mystical, but it's devastatingly practical. Instead of seeing your opponent as your enemy, you become a detective studying their inner world. Here's what most people do wrong. They focus on what someone is saying or doing that annoys them. But Stoics look deeper. They ask, what wound is this person protecting? What fear is driving their aggression? But think about your most difficult relationship right now. That person who always seems to oppose you, criticize you, or make your life harder. Now imagine you have X-ray vision that can see past their words to their heart. What would you find? Maybe your micromanaging boss grew up in chaos and desperately needs control to feel safe. Maybe your argumentative colleague feels invisible and uses conflict to get attention. Maybe your critical family member is actually terrified of being abandoned and pushes people away before they can leave first. This isn't about making excuses for bad behavior. It's about understanding the game you're really playing. When you see someone's true motivation, you hold the key to influencing them. Seneca put it perfectly. Every new thing excites the mind, but a mind that seeks to understand seeks first to see clearly. Once you see clearly, you can respond to their real need instead of their surface behavior. Try this tomorrow. Pick one person who frustrates you. Instead of reacting to what they do, spend 5 minutes asking yourself what they might be afraid of losing, or what they desperately want to gain. Watch how this changes everything. Method 2. The pause of power. Control time itself. Epictetus was born a slave, but he discovered something that made him freer than any emperor: the space between trigger and response. He called it the moment where gods live. In that split second, when someone attacks you, insults you, or tries to drag you into their drama, you have a choice. Most people react immediately and lose their power instantly. Stoics pause and become invincible. Here's the technique. when you feel that surge of anger, that urge to defend yourself or strike back, mentally count to 5. Not 1, not 2, 5 full seconds. In those 5 seconds, ask yourself one simple question. Will engaging in this battle bring me closer to who I want to become? Marcus Aurelius used this pause to rule an empire. He wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." Every time someone tried to provoke him into anger, he used those precious seconds to choose his response instead of letting his emotions choose for him. This pause isn't weakness. It's the ultimate power move. While your opponent is controlled by their emotions, you're controlled by your wisdom. While they're reactive, you're strategic. While they're trapped in the moment, you're playing the long game. The most successful people in history mastered this pause. They understood that the person who controls their response controls the entire interaction. Method 3. The Aikido Principle. Use their force against them. Ancient Stoics discovered something that martial artists would later call Aikido. Instead of opposing force with force, you redirect it. Instead of fighting against someone's position, you align with their deeper values and redirect their energy toward your goals. This is psychological jujitsu at its finest. Here's how it works. Listen carefully to what your opponent values most. Justice, family, success, recognition, freedom. Everyone has core values they'll die to protect. Your job is to frame your position as supporting those values. Let's say your colleague opposes your project proposal. Instead of arguing about the details, you discover they deeply value team collaboration. You reframe your proposal. You're absolutely right about the importance of teamwork. That's exactly why this project needs someone with your collaborative skills to make it work. Suddenly, they're not opposing your idea. They're protecting their own values by supporting it. Seneca was a master of this technique. He influenced Emperor Nero not by opposing his desires, but by showing how wisdom and self-control would make Nero more powerful, more respected, more truly imperial. The secret is this: people don't resist ideas that align with their identity. They resist ideas that threaten it. When you make your position feel like their idea, resistance melts away. Method 4. The empathy advantage. Become emotionally untouchable. This might be the most counterintuitive method, but it's devastatingly effective. When someone attacks you, your first move is to genuinely understand their pain. Most people think empathy makes you weak. Stoics knew it makes you unstoppable. When you truly understand why someone is behaving badly, you become immune to taking it personally. And when you don't take it personally, you can respond with surgical precision instead of emotional chaos. Here's the technique. When someone is aggressive toward you, mentally step into their shoes for 30 seconds. Ask yourself, if I were this person, with their history, their pressures, their fears, how would I be feeling right now? This isn't about agreeing with them or excusing their behavior. It's about understanding the emotional state that's driving their actions. Once you understand their emotional state, you can address it directly. Instead of defending yourself against their attack, you acknowledge their underlying feeling. It sounds like you're feeling really frustrated about this situation. Help me understand what's most important to you here. This does something magical. It transforms you from their opponent into their ally. Instead of fighting against you, they start working with you to solve their real problem. Marcus Aurelius practiced this daily. He wrote, "Whenever you want to cheer yourself, consider the good qualities of your companions." Even when dealing with difficult people, he trained himself to see their humanity first. Method 5. The strategic surrender. Win by losing. This ancient technique seems backward, but it's brilliant. Sometimes the fastest way to win is to lose the small battles in order to win the war. Stoics understood that ego is the enemy of effectiveness. When you're attached to being right about everything, you lose the ability to be effective at anything. Strategic surrender means choosing your battles based on what matters most, not what feels most satisfying in the moment. Here's how it works. Before engaging in any conflict, ask yourself 3 questions. 1. What do I actually want to achieve here? 2. Will winning this argument get me closer to that goal? 3. What's the cost of fighting versus the cost of letting it go? Often you'll discover that the thing you want to fight about isn't worth the energy it would cost. Sometimes, letting someone else be right about a small thing gives you enormous influence over the big things. Epictetus taught his students, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." When you stop needing to prove you're right and start focusing on being effective, you become incredibly powerful. This doesn't mean being a doormat. It means being strategic. It means having the confidence to lose arguments you don't need to win, so you have maximum power for the battles that actually matter. Method 6. The compassion weapon. Disarm with kindness. This technique is so powerful, it feels like cheating. When someone expects you to fight, you respond with genuine compassion instead. It's like showing up to a boxing match with flowers. Most people are prepared for you to fight back. They have counter-arguments ready, defenses prepared, and attacks loaded. But nobody is prepared for authentic compassion. It disarms them completely. Here's the specific technique. When someone is being difficult, look for one genuine thing you can appreciate about them or their position and express it sincerely. I can see how much you care about this project. Your passion for excellence is actually inspiring. I appreciate that you're willing to speak up when you disagree. That takes courage. You're asking the hard questions that need to be asked. This isn't manipulation. It's choosing to see the human being behind the behavior. And when people feel seen and appreciated, they become naturally more cooperative. Seneca wrote, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." When you end the cycle of attack and defense with genuine appreciation, you begin a cycle of cooperation and mutual respect. The most influential leaders throughout history understood this principle. They knew that people will move mountains for someone who genuinely sees their value, but they'll barely lift a finger for someone who only sees their flaws. Method 7. The inner fortress. Become unshakable. The final and most powerful technique is building what Stoics called the inner citadel, a core of unshakable calm that no external circumstance can disturb. This isn't about suppressing emotions or pretending everything is fine. It's about developing such a strong sense of your own values and identity that other people's opinions, attacks, or drama can't knock you off course. Here's how you build it. Every morning, remind yourself of 3 things. 1. Your core values, what you stand for no matter what. 2. Your long-term goals, what you're building toward. 3. What you can and cannot control today. When someone tries to pull you into their chaos, you simply return to these 3 touchstones. Are they attacking your values? Your values remain unchanged. Are they threatening your goals? Your goals remain clear. Are they trying to control you? You remember what's actually within your control. Marcus Aurelius built his inner fortress by writing daily reminders to himself. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This wasn't positive thinking. It was practical psychology. When you're truly centered in your own values and purpose, other people's attacks feel like waves hitting a lighthouse. They make noise, they create spray, but they can't move you. This inner strength becomes magnetic. People are naturally drawn to those who can't be shaken, who remain calm in chaos, who respond to drama with dignity. Your next move. These 7 methods aren't just ancient philosophy. They're your roadmap to a completely different way of living. Imagine walking into every difficult conversation with quiet confidence. Imagine turning your harshest critics into your strongest allies. Imagine never again losing sleep over someone else's drama because you know exactly how to handle it. But here's the thing about ancient wisdom. It only works if you work it. These techniques have been tested across centuries and cultures, but they require practice. Start with just one method. Pick the one that resonated most strongly with you and use it in one interaction today. The Stoics believed that philosophy wasn't meant to be studied, it was meant to be lived. Your life is your laboratory. Every difficult person is your teacher. Every conflict is your opportunity to become more skilled, more powerful, more free. Don't let these techniques remain just interesting ideas. Choose one, practice it today, and begin your transformation from someone who fights battles to someone who wins wars without fighting at all. The ancient Romans had a saying, "Fortune favors the bold." Today, fortune favors the wise. And wisdom, as the Stoics knew, isn't something you have, it's something you practice, one difficult conversation at a time. Which method will you try first? Your journey to unshakable inner strength starts with your very next interaction. Make it count.